Hello once again, folks. Welcome to my shop. I'm going to show you first time for everything for me, actually taking video of the production of a project I've done. Seems the last few, my 35mm slide digitizer, which I had that completely finished. Several of the projects I've done, I've had them completely finished and then realized, you know, this is stupid, I should actually take pictures of it. Now this thing I'm going to show you now is a vacuum box, combination vacuum box and photo stand. Now, photography's been a hobby of mine forever. I used to do photo stand work for people, and in the day, this is a long time ago, taking copies of different artwork or pictures, whatever, excuse me, and make them into slides so that they could do presentations and everything. Anyway, this is going to be a small, 16 by 20, whatever, box, just a 1/2 inch plywood, about, I don't know, 8 inches thick maybe. I'm going to make a box that's just a solid box. I mean, it's like airtight box. And I'm going to put a computer fan inside it, all my electrical, everything that I need, you know, all that's going to be, I'm going to have switches on the outside that are also sealed from the inside, where I can just flip it on, the fan will turn on, because you don't want to listen to the fan all the time, but flip it on, the fan will turn on, and the top of it is going to have a bunch of little holes, a grid of holes in it. And when you go to make the copy, if you're going to do 4x6 pictures, well, the grid of holes in the top is 8x10 or whatever, 8x12. So all the air would be sucking past the picture and it wouldn't hold it down. So what you do is you take a piece of paper and you cut it just a little bit smaller than the outside of your 4x6 piece of photograph, and then you tape that down to the surface of the vacuum box, so that it cuts all the airflow except what's underneath your 4x6. So when you set that picture on the holes, it's going to suck that thing down and hold it really, really tight and flat. I'm hoping. This is pre-built, so I'm telling you this. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to show you the parts now. Since this is a thing about building the box, I'm not going to spend the time. Some guys make really cool videos with sped up video of them nailing everything together. I'm going to kind of go in steps. I'll show you the parts, then I'll show you it put together, and I'll explain it. You know, in the process, I'll explain it so you understand what I did here. So all right, I'm going to move the camera. We'll set up to show you the pieces I just made, and to be able to explain it in detail as I'm building it this time. Okay, folks. This vacuum box, as you can see here, I just started to lay out the grid for. I'm going to put 1/4 inch holes set at a 1/2 inch grid, so that there'll be 1,000,000 holes here. And like I said, you can put a mask around the outside so that it'll only suck down your picture. This is the bottom. This is going to be the top, and then these are the two sides, and the front and the back. So very simple, you know, not a lot of ingenuity here needed to build this. So it's just a box. I have a drawer in my garage that I keep all my computer stuff, so I'm going to use a computer fan to put negative air pressure inside this box. So it'll be blowing out, and then of course it'll be sucking through the holes that are underneath the photograph, and that'll hold it tight, nice and flat and tight to the surface. Now, some of the older pictures I have a little curl on them. We'll have to see what happens with those. I do have a paper, like from an old photo enlarger, a paper holder that's adjustable. It has like flat plates that adjust to make the just smaller than your photograph to hold down a photograph flat. If I have to use that, I can use it. It's big, it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's weird. So I want to be able to do an 8.5 by 11. I want to be able to digitize larger things. So this is just going to be a little bigger scale than the one I saw online, but it's similar, but the theory is the same, I should say, but not in practice. It's going to be a little bit different. Okay, this is the top of it. Now, this is something that if you don't have is going to be a little unusual. This is an old copy stand that I had that I'm going to mount right here, and then this goes into it, fastens into the copy stand, and this is the bracket on the top where got the 1/4 20 screw on it and a plate to tighten it against the camera, where you can mount the camera on this thing after you've done something like that. So, okay, that's what it looks like after it's installed. So you mount your camera here. The lens is aiming down onto the surface of this. Now this thing is adjustable, so you can, you know, bring your cameras closer or far away depending on the lens you're using to make it work. So this is going to get bolted right on the base, on the top of the box, I should say, and all the electrical will be inside this box, where I have a switcher right here on the front where I can flip it, turn it on, turn the fan on, so I don't have to let it run all the time. In this case, there's also a bracket that goes on here with 2 little floodlight things. I'm still working on what I'm going to do for lighting. I don't know. The guy that I got the idea from, he had he had little 13-watt, the U-shaped tubes like they used to use them in exit signs and stuff, but they're about this long, and he put 2 of those at an angle shining on the thing. Now I don't know what I'm going to do yet, so we'll see if the bars that I have with the lights on them are going to be good enough, or if I put a diffuser on the front of them, if it's going to work. We'll have to see. Okay, here's the light unit up. Now this is from the original copy stand I've had for 40 years. This is just a splice box. This thing goes over the pipe, so it stands on the pipe like this, and then you can adjust the lights to get them closer, farther away, whatever. And then this plugs in, and you turn your lights on and off here, or whatever. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to try. We'll see when that happens, when down the road, if I get to it, if that's going to work. But all right, here's where this side's where the base is going to mount, and then the rest of it is a grid with a million zillion holes, and I'm going to have to drill all those holes out. But I think this is going to be a little better way to do it. I was going to try to, you know, cut a piece out and find a piece of metal, expanded metal, or drilled out metal like the guy had, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what, this will be, when I'm done, I can just touch a countersink in each hole to get them nice and smooth, and the edge is nice and smooth, so I'm not going to catch any photographs. Sand it really well, give it a couple coats of varnish so it's nice and smooth and you know, slippery. But the vacuum will hold the pictures down, so that should be really good. So anyway, grid's done. Now I start to drill. Okay, here's the top plate with I multiplied it out, 675 holes. Took a while, but I think it's going to be great. And like I said, you can put a mask on it around the picture, so you just have whatever size you're working with in the center, which should work really well. Here's the rest of the pieces, the front, the back, 2 sides, and the bottom. So we're going to throw this thing together. I'm going to make the top removable in case I would have to replace the computer fan. So I'll have to put a little ring around it of 3/4 inch wide lumber to be able to fasten this down a little easier, and instead of into the 1/2 inch stuff. So, okay, the box is done. I have the hole cut for the switch. Starting the electrical inside. Switch on the front. I decided not to go with that small switch, so. Alright folks, the electrical's done. And the switch to a receptacle, switch receptacle. And once again, like I was saying, I keep all the computer stuff. There is an old computer receptacle, and I have the piece that goes into it. So we'll be able to, so then when I take it off, the thing is very transportable without cords and stuff hanging off the side of it. So I'll fire it up and show you what it looks like. Now hopefully this is gonna suck enough. The guy who, the project I followed, his fan was much smaller than this. His actual box was a little smaller, but it shouldn't matter if you mask everything but the 4x6 picture or whatever you're working on. So, okay, I'm putting the top on. I drilled a mess of holes, countersunk holes around the outside, and I put some weather stripping in there, so when I screw it down, it'll seal the air from leaking in. So we'll see how it works in a second. This will be bolted on here, and this has got a 1/4-20 bolt on the end. It has a little plate here you can tighten against the bottom of the camera, so you can mount a camera on here. I bought a macro focusing setup that I'm going to put on here, so I might have to cut this rod down to get it closer here, so I don't push the camera out too far on the setup. But I'm going to start it up now and see how well it sticks down something. So we'll hang on a second, I'll show you. Okay, this is just a piece of styrofoam that I had laying around. Look at the amount of suction on here. It's pretty cool. I think it's going to be. Okay, there's the finished setup. It seems to stick pretty well. So we'll see. And then I put the stand on here, and then the camera mounts like this so that you can see down, you know, and take a picture of. You'll be able to zoom and take, you know, focus. I'll put that in the video so you can see what it looks like. It's just a quick one. I didn't really focus, so here's the finished product. Hope that helps someone who'd like to build one. So have a nice day.